Probably February. Get down now. If they was to pull me over, they'd probably arrest me.
Unless they're all loaded.
No, there's none loaded.
Yeah, the second when they were loaded, you might be in trouble.
This one's got the shells in it. It's not loaded. It's in the back.
Candid camera.
There you go.
Yeah.
See you later. About
Yeah.
last of March. I hope the trees are budding by then.
I think they will be by then. You're gone for a full month. The way the weather's been going, I bet they will be.
February the 20th. In Hyman, Kentucky. James Steele's house. Getting ready to venture toward the Yucatan. Also, today is a lunar eclipse, 10:30. James Steele and my father. Getting ready to go to the Yucatan.
On the way. All right.
On the day of the full lunar eclipse.
Hey.
We'll probably go out and hit 80 and go. Yeah. I will. We can sit there in the car. I don't think I carried them in there.
Where was your half man thing?
In my car.
Oh, in yours?
Yeah.
First thing we want to buy when you can is plastic floor mats
Okay.
somewhere.
Yeah, 'cause it is
I
awful slow.
forgot to take them out of the other car.
Yeah.
I don't see no shoes.
We're in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Veterans Day Retirement Home. And we're going to visit a little with Miss Elizabeth Watts, who was for many years director of the Harriman Settlement School. Miss Watts is 96 and come to stay a while with her.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. I'm so glad you could come back.
Thank you. Miss Watts, how long were you at the Harriman Settlement School?
47 years.
And you came at what age?
At 19. And I came down from my home. I was brought up in New England. And I came down to stay at Harriman for 1 year. I heard about Mrs. Campbell, Mr. John C. Campbell, you know, was a friend of the family, and she wrote and asked me to come down and help them out. So I thought, well, I'd go down for a year. And some of my friends said, you may like it and stay. I said, I'll probably like it, but I'm not going to stay. I'm going back to New England. So I stayed 47 years.
Right.
And didn't go back to New England to live at all. And found myself in Tennessee because it was a good retirement home here, that's all. Otherwise, I'd rather be in Kentucky.
Tell us about when you first came. How did you get there? I mean, you didn't have roads those days.
I came, well, we came by train as far as Beaver Junction. You know where that is?
No, I don't.
But it's near Prestonsville.
Right.
And I was met there by a young boy from Hyman with 2 horses. One to ride himself and the other for me to ride. And I'd never been on a horseback in my life. And of course it was side saddle. And so that was about 50 miles from Hyman. So we rode all right after the train got in about noon. And we rode all that afternoon and spent the night in one of the homes up there in the mountains. It was a very comfortable and nice home, and I enjoyed it so much. And they just took us in. And then the next morning we got on and we rode all the morning. And at noon we got in time just as the children were coming out from school. I was pretty sore and stiff, but I had lunch and went away.
And then you, what were your first duties?
Well, I was told I was to come down and just fit in anywhere that I wanted to. So they said everyone's overworked, and you can just do anything that needs to be done. So I tutored 1 or 2 people who were well beyond the school age, and one very fine young woman, she wasn't so young, but she was around in the 30s, and she couldn't read or write, and I taught her to read and write, and did things of that kind, and then had some club work with some of the young boys, and then the primary teacher's mother got sick, and she had to go home. So they said, well, Miss Watts, you have to take the primary grades. I said, well, I've never had any training for it. And they said, well, you'll make out. And there's nobody else to do it, so you have to do it. So I did it. And that was the way I began. And I taught the primary grades for 10 years. They said that they would get a regular teacher after a few months, but Miss Pettit was out at the time and traveling about. Miss Stone, no, Miss Stone it was who was out. And Miss Pettit wrote and said, well, Miss Watts is getting along all right. We just let her go on teaching. So I did. And I went on teaching, as I say, for 10 years. And then I moved up to the upper grades and was principal of the grade school. And had 1 or 2 classes in high school. And then I thought I'd go into the settlement side of the work. And I went over and was house mother at Eastover. And then I went into the office and was assistant director. And Miss Stone's mother got sick and she had to be away, and so then I found myself director.
And it must have been in those days, what was the source, let's say, of the financial source? How did you, as the children, the parents had no money, had to pay? Where did the money come from? Voluntary, mostly from New England, I would say,
New England, yeah.
in those days.
Yeah.
Right.
And Miss Pettit and Miss Stone went out to New England and did quite a bit of talking about what was needed down there. People were interested and anxious to do it. Miss Pettit and Miss Stone were both at Heinemann at that time. And as soon as things got pretty well settled there, while Miss Pettit went and started the Pine Mountain Settlement School, and Miss Stone stayed as director of the Heinemann Settlement School.
Even so, it must have been had some rocky times there financially
Oh,
to keep the school going. And did you have any backing in Heinemann? People helped you out in those days?
They didn't have any in those days.
No.
People in Heinemann were pretty poor at that time.
Right. I thought maybe some of the merchants might have.
But they were always would help whenever they could.
Yes.
And now the stores, that was the thing that was perfectly marvelous about it. There was those little country stores that were in Heinemann. Heinemann was the county seat, you see, and so there were 2 or 3 fairly good-sized stores, and they would give us unlimited credit. It was perfectly astounding that they just wouldn't. If we couldn't pay, well, they would wait, and that was all. And we paid up everything in the end, but they just took us unpaid. But it was really remarkable.
Well, it was being done for them, for their children, grandchildren.
Oh yes, yes, they knew it was so valuable. They really appreciated it. There was no question about that. Well, they wouldn't have started the school if the people hadn't begged them to do it.
Now, this is how old is the school now? It was founded in 1901. Is that right? Say.
I have to stop and think. No, 1900.
1901, and here it is, 1989, and it's done a remarkable job. And it's managed to continue to serve when other settlements, the schools of the same idea have failed. They've gone out of.
They've gone. Yes, that's true. Well, we of course we started out by taking in people students who couldn't get to school.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so we had boarding students.
Mm-hmm.
And as we had boarding students and more than we could take in, possibly, for years. And then as we got good roads and the school buses could come, the need for the boarding students grew less. So then we began to spread out in different ways. We sent teachers out into the country districts, to the school districts out in the country with things they wouldn't have normally, like music and art and recreation and all sorts of special things. And they they lived at the settlement, those teachers, and then went out to tell them all the things that they wanted to go on with.
You had many things been going on at the same time. You had you encourage basket making, people.
Oh, yes.
And other things, crafts of different sorts.
From the minute they went in there, they saw those beautiful baskets that were being made, and the weaving, the old, big old, heavy looms that were handmade up there, and when they were charmed with that, and immediately began teaching the young people to weave that they hadn't started then, but many of the young people had, but it was getting to be less and less of a regular thing, so we encouraged it getting started, and we had what we called our Fireside Industries department, and we had quite a big part of the work was the weaving and basket making and woodworking. The boys had a manual training teacher, and they did all that sort of thing.
And you had this home economics.
Oh yes, we had
where children got hands-on experience.
Yes,
not just textbook.
When the Hyman Settlement School started the home economics department there, up there in the mountains, there were only 2 other schools in the state of Kentucky that had home economics, that taught home economics.
Now, as I see Hyman Settlement, in those years, no high school in the state of Kentucky, for one thing, had a library.
That's right.
Such a fine library.
Yes.
And with a trained librarian.
Yes,
with a trained librarian, and also no school in the state of Kentucky had teachers who were so well qualified.
Yes.
Most came, where did they come from?
They came from the eastern part, a lot of the women, and they came from Wellesley and Smith and Mount Holyoke and the New England, the colleges up there in New England. And one would go back and tell the others about it, and then we had never had any problem getting people because they flocked down. They wanted to come, and they were a wonderful group of people.
I always appreciate one thing there, that once you had a teacher, and this refers to me, you let us do our job.
Yeah.
We were never harassed, and nobody, you let us do our job, and I think everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
And we all felt at least a sense of mission.
Yeah.
We felt we were doing something that needed to be done.
Yeah.
And though, in a sense, it was dropping the bucket, but I believe in the dropping the bucket.
If you don't have the drop in the bucket, you don't have anything else.
Right. You start somewhere.
Yes.
And I like to think that maybe when I used to take books, just a day a week, but somebody has said that was really the beginning of the idea that put in somebody's mind for the bookmobile later.
Well, of course
in
it
time.
was.
Everything starts somewhere.
Yes.
I do want to say that we were not the only one. That was home place. It was
But that started afterwards.
It was.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know.
Yes. Yes, we had it first, and Lula Hale, who was a graduate of the Hyman Settlement School, of course, just thought it was a wonderful idea, and she was working in the rural section, and she thought that she'd just go on and do more of that, so she did.
I always thought now we teach people to write and to read, and all too often they never write again and never read again.
Yeah.
Now you'd better furnish them, if you're going to teach them to read, you better furnish them something to read.
Yeah.
And I think anybody's view of the world, it depends on what they know.
Yeah.
And I think I was a small part of it, we widened the horizons of a great many people.
Well, you weren't a small part of it. you were a big part of it because you understood the situation and were able to communicate with the people who came in from the country. And
Well, it was a place to do it. I never thought of it as work
yeah,
somehow.
no,
That was a busy place with 100 students and
It was.
around
Yeah.
7 days a week and for 9 months.
I know.
And everybody
Well,
worked.
more or less in the summer
Oh,
in addition.
Right, yes. It was a working place.
Mm.
And the children were working and we were working
Yeah.
and some of the teachers were teaching during the day and tutoring at night. And
Yeah.
where is this taking place anywhere nowadays? I don't know
I don't
where
either.
it is.
And everybody happy in the work.
Right. And I must admit that I took full advantage of I had, of course, I was alone. I read and I started my little writing career there, and weekends and times like that. And it did more for me than I ever did for them.
Well, I don't know. You did an awful lot for them.
Well,
Because
it was something I wanted to do and I thought was worth doing. Then now time has passed and it's still there. And what keeps it, one of the things, you had the idea that there must be an endowment. And you started building this endowment. The other schools of this kind didn't have endowments and they had nothing to fall back on in the bad days. And is that the way you see it? Is
Yeah.
that what's taking
Yeah.
place? I thought that would be it.
Yeah.
And we have these remarkable characters too, Dr. Pratt. Can you tell us something
Oh.
about him? What did he do for us there?
Doc Pratt was a farmer. He had a big farm of his own.
Oh,
And we wanted to have the students have the benefit of more modern farming than they were getting, and so he began to study it, and he was always saying that he read after things, and so he read after some of the things that he should do, and then he took the boys who were there in the school and taught them how to the mountain way of carrying on things and added on this other that he accumulated in knowledge of himself. And he really,
then he had the garden.
he had a garden with all the garden sets for the kitchen and brought that in. And he was there for years.
Right.
And
Such an original man. You
Oh.
never talk to him unless he says something that was
always is
original
worthwhile.
and
he's-
poetic.
Yeah. Well, yes, one
Yeah.
day he said, I want some good, reliable boys to help me in the garden. He says, garden sass is awful timid and not particular.
Right.
And I would love to have him come up to the office to get information about the things he wanted, and because he never, as you say, he never came that he didn't drop some gem of an expression that he.
Right. Now I've undoubtedly heard him say a lot of things, but I didn't write them down. I could have done a great deal more than I did along that line, but I didn't think of it. Nobody else did much.
Yeah.
You did some things.
Yes,
I
I
think.
did some.
Some things.
I didn't want him to think I was writing it down,
Well,
but I tried to jot down things that when he was in the office. He
I'm
never came to the office that he didn't say some priceless thing.
Right. And then you had some other remarkable people, Mrs. Burns.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Burns.
She was, to me, she was the Appalachian woman somehow or
Well,
another.
she really was the Appalachian woman. Yeah.
Almost a stereotype, if you want.
Well, she was born and raised
Right.
in the mountains.
And never lost
And
that.
married a mountain man,
Right.
and they started the Oneida school in Oneida, and after, well, I don't remember what fact was that she was suddenly available to come to help us instead of staying at town over there. But she was. And she came over there to the settlement, and she took the boys and taught them how to garden, and she did all kinds of handwork herself. Well, that lampshade over there, usually is that way you can see it there. And down where I could see from it better. And it's made of the corn shucks. And I don't know whether that's a corn shuck one or a broom sage one. She made them both in different times. And I suggested that she make weave with corn shucks, and she took the idea right then and there and went to work and began table mats with corn shucks and pretty as they could be.
I remember one thing she said to me once, not necessarily to me, but she made this statement. She said, if you see some poor little underly child, give to them and do for them.
Yeah, that's right. That was her whole
exactly.
attitude.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, then there was Mark Sloan. You see, you had a number of prize individuals.
Yes, we did.
I don't know how you got them all together, but they just happened sort of.
Well, they'd come to get a job, and then they worked out in this wonderful way.
Right. He was there for many years, and a man of all work. He could do anything almost.
Oh, almost. And he'd worked it out. He taught himself because the thing needed to be done on the campus, and somebody had to do it, and he'd find some way to do it. He was a big help. He got interested in all the electrical things and all of the more of the mechanical things. Doc did the gardening, and he did that side of things.
And there was Miss Elkins. I noticed when I was working in the archives, I've never found anything written about Miss Elkins.
Miss Elkins would not let anybody know anything about her if she could help it. Yeah.
Well, anyway, she fed us for those many years, and I never was hungry there.
No.
Even though the years were lean, we still had food.
Yeah.
All those times.
Yeah. Well, she was a Kentucky woman, but not from the mountains. And she was interested in teaching the young people the right ways for housekeeping and all that kind of thing. And she was very strict with them and all that, but she loved them to pieces, and they really were very fond of her. And she was there for a good many years, and was a big help in the early work at school, because she could, well, just because she did teach all of the practical things of cooking and planning meals for the whole Selman family, which was over 100 at that time.
Yeah. Then there was Jethro Wambergy. He came, I understand, as a boy, and went to school there, and eventually was your mayor training teacher.
Yes.
And he was I will say this for him. He had a mind. He's like a steel trap. I don't know whether you knew this or not. He had the keenest intelligence of any man I ever met in the mountains.
Yes,
Oh yes, yeah, and he constantly surprised me. He did have 2 years of college, and I told him once that they're going to pass along one of these days, you must have a college degree. And so he did go and get two more years. Yeah. And I recall once, I said, Jethro, I want you to subscribe to Time magazine. And why? And then I said, I want somebody to talk to about the daily news. The news.
Yeah.
And so he did. He had such keen, even to this day, it surprises me. I regret to say that this seems not to have been replicated in the family, none of the other hamburgers anywhere. This was something I think was not really appreciate about him that he could have done anything. I've always respected people who work with wood anyway.
Yeah.
And in my notebook, there's somewhere a statement somewhere. A man said, "I have always trusted carpenters. People who work with wood all seem to be honest." And he was to a fault.
Yes.
Then he has always been insistent. Now there's several other people there. Miss Standish was a wonderful teacher. She brought so much knowledge and so on to her work and classes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there.
She was a New Englander.
Miss Kiesel with her birds every morning.
Yeah,
What birds
yeah,
did you
yeah,
see today?
yeah,
And we all
yeah.
report. And made amateur ornithologists out of a number of us beside the students.
Yeah.
I went to school myself, better than any of my colleges, the schools I went to. I think when I was sitting at the table, sitting with Miss Kiesel and Miss Cobb, of course, and now we have mentioned Miss Cobb,
Yeah.
haven't we?
Yeah.
And of course she was the prize of all.
Oh, she was a prize.
Yes, she
Okay,
was
so
indeed.
graduate of Wellesley
poet,
College.
and the best of all the folk poets that ever was, that I know anything about. And I trust that they're going to be reprinted someday. And they have not lost anything.
Oh, they're beautiful.
They're beautiful, and they don't even date.
Yeah.
Although they go back and take up old times and
Yeah,
ways,
yeah.
they don't date. This
Yeah.
is not old-fashioned poetry. This stays modern, just like Amy Dickinson, although she has her own way. See, I consider Amy Dickinson the greatest American poet. Though maybe, perhaps Walt Whitman did more for American poetry than Amy Dickinson did, but not in the long run, I think.
Do you know that Anne Carver had never wrote any poetry until the World War?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, and she can write, and she said to me, that war affected me in such a way I had to do something. And so I started writing poetry. And so all that beautiful poetry, and after the war was over, she wrote very little. And I think you, among others, tried to get her to go and write more, and she didn't write very much after that.
No, she did. But she has a lot of poems not in her book, and I hope someday we can bring them all together.
Yes, I wish so.
And the story of the Hammer-Summer School is yet to be written. Now, there was a book recently, the Wisdom book, which this man had a chip on his shoulder. And he was trying to say we were destroying the culture of the people and so on. What we were trying to do is to teach them to read and write and figure, you know, and learn to live in their world. And which they didn't do too bad, I think. We helped.
Oh, yes, I think so.
And
today... And they think so.
Yeah. Today depends what we have there now, and which I'm very proud of, and it's still going. It came as a natural progression from what we did, or what you know, what was done there before.
That's the thing that one thing led to another. When we didn't need to do one thing, there'd be something else that needed to be done. And so and fortunately it's just gone right on that way. And it didn't as long as I was there, and it went on after I went. Now there's nothing going on that I did speak of.
And politics did not destroy us.
No.
The school stayed clear. All those years. Now that was a feat in itself.
Yeah.
Not to be defeated by them. After all, there never were any real issues, just personalities. That's what we had there. People running for office and no, I think it was a remarkable place, and I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Well, Hyman was always very proud that you wanted to stay there after you came there.
It was home, and the second home, you never forgive a gift, your first one, I think. And I've always been glad of a son-in-law, and I always say there's no substitute for it. And now, recently, I have made some statements of saying I was glad I wasn't born there, because I wouldn't want my mother to have lived that grinding children.
Yeah.
Or my father to die of black lung.
Yeah.
But I say I'm glad of that now.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to have been there. And frankly, I've been a lot of places, countries, but this is where I feel home.
Well, good. That's one of the things that makes me happy, is that a man with the experience that you've had does seem to feel that it's a home place to you.
Well, yeah, it is, and always will be, and people have to even change in time from what's doing now.
Mm-hmm.
But with this endowment and with choosing the right people, dedicated people to carry on, it keeps going. It's had a few lapses, like all places. That change from that time of when we didn't keep students anymore and began to keep teachers, that was called a lapse, but that happened everywhere. Stop. Got cut off? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. This is my friend Roland Carter, and I have known him since about the middle 20s, I suppose. I don't know exact year. When did you go?
25.
1925. Yes, we both turned up at Lincoln Memorial University in Harrogate, Tennessee, in the same school. And did we graduate in the same class? 1929.
1929.
29, and it's the most unusual class. Who were some of our classmates? Could you name some of them for us?
A lady in at Harrogate, Helen Hazel Fulton.
Fulton was one, yeah.
Hazel Fulton. I believe Roy Bell.
What about Roy Fleeman?
Roy Fleeman was a year or two ahead of us. He was the basketball baller. Jesse Stewart, of course, was
our classmate.
In our class. Winnie Palmer. Yeah, 1929 had some people who were interested in writing.
How do you account for that? How do you account for the fact that so many books and so many, you have a literary hall of fame there at this university, and how do you account, there's been very little since, some, yes, and nothing particular before. How do you account for that particular year? Crow, would you say? Harrison Crow, our professor?
I would say Professor Crow probably was the spark, but
not in my case.
That's in yes, I've heard.
Not in my case, because
say that.
With all the credit I want to give to him, I was already interested in writing, and I did not. I had a couple of classes under him. He had no idea I was interested in writing or anything. I never conferred with him in any sense.
Professor Crow meant a great deal to me. I didn't have what it takes to be a writer, but I itched in that direction. And if you had classes with Crow, you certainly wrote. Whatever the class was, it was writing, not just composition, but not just in freshman English, but whatever the class was, you did much writing in it. But that question as to why 1929 has been thought about and discussed frequently, but I don't think anybody comes up with any conclusion about it.
No, I don't know one either. Now I got to know Crow later, and I admired him, and I enjoyed him. I got to know him many years later, and I wish I had known him better beforehand, but so often, and just recently. it was written up that I was influenced by Crowley. No, I wasn't, because I didn't know him or anything, really anything to do with him except to sit in his class. I don't want to take anything away from him at all. However, my memories of the school, I arrived in 1925, and I understand this school was just practically on the blocks. It was just ready to close when Frank Cyberlin of the Cyberlin Tire Company, a member of the board, saved it out of total. My main memory was simply this. It seemed to me I was hungry all those years. You know, we used to eat all the food off the table, you remember? And I had no money whatsoever. Some of the other people might have had to go down to what we call a hump stand and buy a piece of something. But I had absolutely nothing. And however, it is, I believe, the most beautiful natural campus in this country, and I have visited a great many campuses. More than that, this school was right for me, because my high school training, I'm afraid, was nothing too good. And I needed people who were small classes that would work with me individually. You're not going to find greater professors than, let's say, Dr. Moore, marvelous class in classical literature, and Dr. Danforth. Although I'm not a very apt student of languages, she did more for me than that. For one thing, I couldn't buy textbooks, so she loaned me. She always seemed to have. She loaned me textbooks, and she wrote to me afterward that. Well,
let me say a word about
you do that.
Dr. Danforth. I had French. I had French with Dr. Danforth. She was one of the 2 or 3 scholars I taught on the campus. She was very well trained. She was the one, at my time, she was one of 2 PhDs on faculty. She was charming as a lady. She was intense at times. And this was the thing about her too. She was very much opposed to smoking. If she smelled cigarette smoke on a sweater, that boy got sent to the front door of the building to air out a little bit.
Oh.
She was known for that sort of thing. But she was a leader. She inspired people. I've always had very high regard for Dr. Danforth.
And there was Miss Buffum. I think I got my especially interest in history from Miss Buffum. I got started anyway. It seemed to me, though, in those days, all the history classes were about wars and that sort of thing. Didn't learn much about the people. But no matter, she started me, I think, on that road to reading history. I believe she did, but the great thing for me in Livermore was the library. And I was a janitor. And I locked that door at 9 o'clock, and I swept the floor, emptied the wastebasket, and rubbed up the tables, and that belonged to me for the rest of the time. And there, I'm afraid with not too much help from my teachers, I somehow came in contact with Thomas Harding, Conrad, and Whitman, and Dickinson, those people who were important for my education later. I went on to Vanderbilt, and I was somewhat surprised to learn that I got along very well with those graduate classes there.
You had an excellent background. My first association with you were in connection somewhat with the library, or if you were strolling across the campus or going to a meal, I would think, well, James is probably on his way to the library. And you were there early, late, case might be.
Well, if I was working, after all, we worked afternoons in various ideas, various jobs, you know, our classmates, they've been dropping like flies lately. There's not many left. Every time I pick up the alumnus there, somebody else is gone. And I think, well, I wish I'd made contact with him if I had, you know, and I didn't. It just happens all along.
Yes. You see, our graduation in '29 was, well, by the way, that's being 89, why, it isn't hard to figure that it was 60 years ago. And we've lost many of our people along the way. There was something about the campus. There was a simplicity and yet a mystery about the situation of Lincoln Memorial University. It charmed me. It's the answer to the question of to the question of why Lincoln Memorial. What do you like about this school? And now, why do you go back to homecomings after all these years? My son used to ask me, Daddy, what do you want to go back to homecoming for? You've already celebrated your 50th graduation anniversary. And I say, well, it seems to be a question here in Chattanooga. But before I get to the campus, it's no longer a question. It's the thing to do. And of course, arriving on campus comes almost a rush sometimes of the feeling, atmosphere of the old days. Grantley Hall over on the hill, that's one of the first things you can see as you go up Powell Valley.
Right, I can see my room, 301.
Yep. And I was quite close to you at 303. There was a simplicity, there was a genuineness about it, and I've wondered whether there might have been a sort of at least temporary coagulation of that caused 1929 class to have the people who have written.
You know, I really don't know what it was, but of course that school meant more than any other. I went to a couple of other universities, but they were just business. Worked at them, and then we came out, both of us, in the Depression years, when there was no work for anybody much. And here I came out with 3 university degrees and no job, and one person told me where I applied that you're overeducated, which didn't mean I knew too much, but rather he didn't have any job that he thought I ought to be filling. Well, I never felt that way. I probably overschooled. I spent too much time in classrooms.
About the not being able to get a job, my first job after graduation had a cut in the very small salary from the year before, but I could make ends meet with a good deal of stretching. It was my ambition, of course, to teach in college, and the college faculties were shrinking, beginning to shrink. I went ahead and did the graduate work at Duke, and
Peabody. I saw you at Peabody. I remember running through Peabody once. Same years I was school there, I think. Must be.
Yeah, Peabody. I first thought I'd do my graduate work in Nashville, but I got turned to Duke, and I found out I liked Duke very well, and I have a master's from Duke. Jobs were hard to get. I wanted a job in English, of course, but many a person has thought, well, anybody can teach English. It's somebody may have been teaching Bible or history or something like that. But we need somebody in English, so we'll switch so-and-so over to English because, as I say, anybody can teach English. That seems to be an idea. But in due time, I got into college. My first college job was in 1976. So I was not very fast in getting that first job. But as I say, college faculties in so many instances were shrinking rather than taking on new people.
Well, I think when it's possible to get what we think of as a liberal arts education there nowadays or not. The curriculum, I've been looking at the curriculum they teach there. Yeah, I think you can get sophomore lit, and that's about it, isn't it? Isn't it given going more to the sciences, more to the BS, all more things of that sort?
Well, probably if you were to count them, categorize them, yes. I think so many new programs came on, as they're called, beginning back a few years ago, when the colleges and Lincoln Memorial was having a hard strain to keep going, and it was so difficult. The resources must have run down. The idea, I think, of the administrators was we need to have some programs here more nearly of vocational nature, so our students can think that they're working toward a job. It was, you know, the humanities is supposed to be good for people, that everybody should have the humanities, but what would you do for bread and meat if you have a degree in the humanities? Well, newspaper work and reporting, that sort of thing, began to give an answer to that question. But a few years after I had begun teaching, businesses and industries began to relieve that situation. Their attitude might be summed up in such a sentence as this: you educate the young men, the young women, we'll train them for the job. I always like that. I do believe there's a difference between training and educating. Every person who can take it should be educated, and then of course one has to be trained in so many instances for the job he's going to do. I'm glad that in our day there's more nearly a sympathetic understanding between the two worlds. I'm glad many businessmen are glad to hire humanities taught young people. I think it's a healthy sign.
Now, Vanderbilt itself, I started to read this statement about it. Vanderbilt University is a research institution which also maintains a small liberal arts college. I think liberal possibly can get it. A liberal education should come first. We need to understand the world we live in. And then, after then, we can learn to do maybe specialized jobs and so on. And we find everywhere the disappearance of courses of literature and that sort of thing. In the high schools nowadays, I'm rather shocked. I'm visiting schools in 4 counties where I live, and it's the old school year, and I've been rather shocked in a way and what I'm seeing is some of them, for that matter. I went in a school, a large high school recently, where I was invited. I've spoken 2 classes. The concentration of the class was broken up at least 5 times by the squawk box coming on, the intercom. They had they called people out. People came in from somewhere doing the thing. People went out to other kids doing the classes. And I don't understand that. And that's my idea. I couldn't teach it in a place like this. So it wouldn't work for me. I wouldn't allow it. In fact, I intend to do what I can to have this do something bad for this school. And I think I'm in a position to do it.
Well, of course, some people would call that conservatism. Some would be so bold to say, well, that's turning the pages backward. But I know what you mean, and I would agree with you. School, I sometimes think, is our main means of salvation. If we're going to be saved, it will be through education. I don't think for survival or to answer the call of those who would increase the social functions and the athletic programs and so forth. I don't think that justifies not having knowledge. One must have knowledge. One must know. And so it is too in our day. We hear a great deal about teaching and excellence in teaching. I'm afraid the word excellence is frequently used by somebody who would not recognize excellence if he were to run on it. We need to hear more about learning. Teaching is tremendously important. Nobody would attempt to describe the importance of teaching, but there must be learning. The process of education is not complete until there has been learning. We need to have more emphasis on learning. The family should do that. Should lead the children into
our view of the world depends on what we know.
Yes, what we know.
What we know depends on
what we know.
We are teaching children to write who never write again once they're out of school. We teach them to read, and they never read again when they get out. Our libraries in my area are staffed by librarians who are political appointees. They may be very nice people who virtually never read a book in their life. They cannot help other people. They're buying they buy books that shouldn't even be in libraries. They have no knowledge of it. This is the best they know. So, and I'm sort of happy about that in a way. Now I can't change the world, and somewhat given up on even thinking about it, but that's the way it is. Well, anyway, we had the pleasure and the privilege at one time, and I know we are glad we did, that we had it we went to that school in those years. I don't know what it has become now. It may even be far better. I wouldn't know about that. But anyway, I'm glad that you were there. I got to meet you and a lot of other people who meant a lot in my life. And though I don't see you much, I think about you a lot. Okay. My niece, Louise, she was a barn before she got married, and I think you were born here, were you not?
No, I was born in Sherman.
You were born in Sherman. How old were you when you came here?
1 year old.
1 year old, you don't remember that?
No.
I used to come up here and spend a lot of time, did I not? And I remember, you remember the first time I came to your house and you were very small and your sister was smaller yet. And one of you said to me, "You got a gold tooth." I did have one then. And the other one, Barbara said, "You're bald-headed." I remember that. I remember that. They lived over somewhere else in America, I forget now. But your mother died about, I don't know, 3 years ago, 3, 4, maybe
No,
77. 77. Oh, that's a long time. And then your father preceded about a good many years, hadn't you?
10 years.
Well, I've seen this town of Gadsden die twice. During the Depression, everything closed up on the streets. You remember that, probably, if you were here. And it was all gone. And then after World War II, it opened up again. And now it's dying again. It's dying again. It seems to me, or rather, it's moved out. It's perfect. Big malls and everything. Tell me about, she has 3 sons. Now, where is your youngest boy?
Terry is in Atlanta, Georgia, working for a construction company, salesman,
Yeah. And
equipment company.
the next one,
Terry's the youngest, so the middle one is Jerry. He's in Columbus, Georgia, and he's pastor of Northside Baptist Church. He has 2 children, a boy 10 and a girl 7.
and the other one?
The oldest one is Lieutenant Colonel in the Army, stationed at Fort Lewis, Washington.
Right. And tell us about it. He went to school here and then went to...
He went to school here, graduated in 68, and then went to West Point Military Academy. Graduated there in 74.
And then went into the several tours of duty in Germany, did you
No,
know?
excuse me, he graduated in 72. Yes, he's had 2 tours in Germany.
When's he been home last year?
He was here in June of last year. Which again, that was the first time they were together in nearly 8 years.
Okay. Well, okay. I got cough. Anyway, let us see ourselves here. It'll be in black and white, but when it's developed to be in so you get a good shot in this all.
Oh, yeah.
On the film, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't need much of it. All right.
Okay.
See, that's the same address she had when she was living here. I remember her when they had the trial in the courthouse. Oh, your Dulcimer's in this house right here. This has been built since, this is the whole thing was standing on for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this, we built this. And the orange trees growing back pretty good. They were all killed back about 4 years ago.
What you meet here is either a professor or a janitor. That's what he said about it. Are you filming?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, what do you want me to do?
Just go ahead and start walking around. I'll be right behind you.
I'd rather...
Just make some comments. Just walk around.
Oh,
Just walk around and I'll just
See, this is
walk around the place.
This was the original shelter. Yeah. I'm assuming you don't have a mic on.
Yeah, I do.
Let's go.
Go ahead, just go ahead and walk around, James, and I'll don't pay attention to me. Just talk to him about the place.
Well, what I was going to tell you
in the old days.
So you can walk in this thing and it was rotted out. And this was the only part of the house, and that was real rotted.
I won't say that on the film, but
I think it's Green's last.
well, let's don't try to get in. That won't be the point.
And the last time I saw his daughter was on that piano in that room.
I remember the back of the ball. There are people living back there, as you know. Yeah, I don't care about going back there. This has all been planted here, new. And you smell the orange blossoms? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Walk around the other way, James.
Now, which way? I don't want to be trying to get in the house. I used to know Marjorie. I used to know Marjorie and visited here.
Oh, really?
This is James Steele. He gave Margaret Ken and Roland the document. The last time I saw the document was on the piano in the room in there, and I've asked where I think it may be locked up in the library at the university, but I can't find it.
Yeah, I don't know, because we're looking for one now, so we can place one on her.
Well, he's the one who gave her that one, and in her book she said that Jim Steele gave me a document, but I'll never learn to play the banjo.
Right.
In the book he wrote.
Yeah. We had when we had the festival here in April, my mother-in-law let us borrow hers, and we put it back on the bookcase.
Uncle Jim, you don't know where you can find a real Kentucky dulcimer?
Listen, there's originals collected items. I do have 4. Get around those. Who knows what they are?
The last time I saw the thing, it was not long. The piano was all magic. I was Jim.
Oh, easy enough. There is a new biography that's going to be written about Marjorie by Sally Bingham, the Binghams of Louisville. You know,
right.
you might have been reading about the House of Dreams and things. Well, Sally's supposed to sort of cause all that blow up in the family.
Right. Does she wear a uniform in the daytime when she
No, we never wear uniforms.
No, I don't.
Usually in the office they had girls with a uniform on.
Yeah. We don't do that here. we wear 1930s and 40s clothing on a day, so we give tours.
Ask her to wear those dangles on the ears for you.
Nope.
For the background scenes for the year.
Right outside of Island Grove.
And then
in the picture they alluded to a grave.
Have a lot of letters across my community.
It's right outside of Island Grove.
But they were telling me there was a grave.
But I sing about Sally Bingham. She writes a new book that's now being reviewed everywhere. I'm afraid a lot of people don't like what she says.
Yeah,
Including me. I've known a long time. I'm very unhappy about this.
Well, I used to play in here when I was a kid.
You're the one who knew about the piano is all, the things open up.
No,
not
me. I didn't even
anyhow.
No, I've asked around, and I thought it sounded in the storeroom.
This probably was where her garden was, though I don't remember it in those days. It's been a good while.
How long has it been since you were here when she was
I
here?
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Last time I was here, they were filming the yearling, and we drove around all day, quite all over the place to what they call background scenes, and also she took me to meet people who she said were the prototypes of Lant, for example, in the yearling, and prototypes in her other books. I remember that day very well, and that's the last time I saw her. But however, we corresponded over the years, and she sent her books, and I sent mine. And during the World War II, the Norwegian Nobel Prize winner Sigurd Undset came to stay with her for a while. And Marjorie wrote me that Sigurd had already read 2 of my books at that time, but had not read any of my poems, so Marjorie got a copy for her. This is what's called a thick jasmine book. We call it the gardenia. It's an old-fashioned tree. It's not the gardenia you used to see. Is this original?
No, it's a replica. That was yeah, that was her boundary right there. Yeah.
It's almost Ocala, where you come to the second stoplight, I think there is.
Yes, sir. He's living over in the St. Augustine area. Yeah, that was at the film. No, it didn't mean it.
That's when I jealous
Those were not her words, it sounded like it.
Big black hat,
We have some tapes of Roland.
Oh, have you?
We listened to her, pretty poor tape, but it's an interview between her and her maid and an interviewer from, I think, the University of Florida, and her maid's like singing hymns, and Marjorie's talking. It's interesting to hear her voice. It's this tape, no film. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, I think they regret that now. In the 60s or 50s.
Well, I'll tell you, I have old letters, and somebody looked me some years ago, and I sort of thought I would give them to the University of Florida. But some time ago, when was it you brought me down here? I thought the collection was in very bad shape up there, and I didn't think they'd done much with it. So I didn't give it to them. At least I'll give them copies.
No, George, so once in a while you do run across some antique shops and old
Cheap.
I mean, it's not cheap. I mean, it's a dilapidated Gulfness over. Y'all still hunting one?
We have a wish list.
Yeah, we have a
Oh, Gulf was easy to come by, but not the originals, not the ones that
No, the old, I mean, just the older one that, see, there's
village people and knows and just by. Anyway, she was just joking. I'd been down, I had to drop by, so. But I didn't have a car or any way to get out here. That was the problem. That's what it was. These letters are not just letters. They write about writing in books. They're informative. It's not just letters. It's either I think one paper, and I want a good writer to have them. I mean, to have access to them or something. And frankly, I think that Bingham will do it. I mean, that last book, although I disapproved that very much because it had a problem with the family. But it's beautiful. Claire, I didn't know she had that. I've known her a long time. She has a play running in Miami right now about her grandfather. Let's see, her step-grandmother's husband, Flagley, used to own Florida.
When do y'all use the wash pot to wash your clothes?
When we have school children here. Through it. That's what. This is. I was telling them this is new, and
the piano's right around the corner there, and that's where. No, this is this one.
Yeah, let's go.
Had already read two of them, and had not read the poems, and so she got a copy for her. Are they here now? See my book.
What she did is she gave her books to the university, and then what the university, the Women's Club, they collected the same titles.
Oh, is that
and
it?
Norton just gave us these about 3 weeks ago. These are from the later, some of the later years.
See, your books are in the Margaret Kennan Rollins library room at the university.
You have seen them?
Out there?
The rare books collection at the White Library. I'm going to close this now.
Okay, thanks.
So, yeah, she gave them her paper, the manuscript.
I thought there was a petition on here someplace, and there's a piano petition. There's a piano along in here someplace.
So there was a beam that once divided this, but it wasn't, as far as we know, it wasn't here. This was from many years ago when other people lived here before her.
Could have been, yeah.
I know several anecdotes and never got into anybody's. One is when Thomas Wolfe came here, and Louise came here, and excuse me, not Thomas Wolfe, Tom Wolfe's sister came here, and they had a meeting here, and she prepared it, like that. And later, Mabel, I knew Mabel. She's a Helen in the book called The Coleman Angel. She said that Margaret didn't even mention my brother. You know, that's what all brothers and things, man.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't because you're careful about that. And I remember one occasion where Thornton Wilder's sister, a place was invited, and Thornton Wilder's sister was there. And later, the hostess told me that she appreciated very much that I didn't start talking about her brother. She was proud of her brother, but that's all she could hear when she went.
Talk about her.
Yeah. You gotta go someplace when I go.
I shouldn't have my head on in this house already.
I took care of it.
Yeah,
Get the book. Oh, this is Margaret. That looks a little older than she was, but it's Marjorie.
Yeah. We have photos of her in the next room, too. That was a local artist did that one, and that was done after her death.
Okay, was that a mask? Did they make a mask by any chance?
I'm not real sure. I don't know.
Oh, I see, yeah. Well, that's certainly Margaret, but Indiana. Right. Sally about the children's book, but she didn't know anything about this. She didn't know about this.
Now there's a bookstore up in Jacksonville, San Marcos bookstore, and they've reprinted The Secret River, and they just put these out a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that's where I found your book up there.
There's one other children's book, isn't there? The Secret River, isn't there another one? I'm surprised. Well, yeah,
Our son
congratulations.
lived in Jackson 4 years while he was interning in St. Vincent, so I'm proud. I know there's little bookstores all around.
They do all the yearlings.
I found one of his books in paperback.
I bet the book gallery might have some of his work.
Yeah, his
I bet
art.
Ginger might even.
His
Yeah,
art
when you're
is
with.
very-
Just one of them.
You know, I used to
With
see
a hat and
his
his
stories
ring.
in the Saturday Evening Post. He was a writer.
Right.
Mostly sea stories, if I
Yeah,
recall.
yachting,
Yachting
and
and
things
such.
like
Where'd you
that.
get the original light book?
His wife,
Now you can't just have them out like those people say.
They don't live
You gotta
here.
keep them out.
Yeah.
You don't live here, do you?
No, we don't live here, we live in the area.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I
They
see
did
Kim
try it
folks
for a
in
while.
my I have relatives in this area. And I saw that time I saw him, said, you know where he lives, so I was glad to get things about it. Quite complete, but
No, it wasn't, not done.
Cats go sleep there.
oh,
We have a cow
this
cove.
is the original song.
Have one.
No,
Yeah,
it's
for
not,
sale.
I'm afraid not.
And
Anyhow,
we're trying to get some pointer puppies.
look, as you know.
Pointer dogs, or like her rip rat.
She got a gas stove later on, so.
I was reared Pennsylvania, New York, Colorado, Texas,
running water.
and
Did she have running water?
Just cornbread and green beans.
Was the smoke alarm part of her?
oh yeah, those were the original.
They didn't have any of my correspondence, and so they don't connect me with I suppose. And that's okay. But I think because these letters are so full of things about writing that we haven't seen much of that. And I think it's sort of important. I think
If I found that in my one letter, which goes to 5 letters, there's a microphone on too, by the way.
Yeah,
go.
all this is being picked up.
You can send us a post. I'll take the Yucatan trip, and you can keep the dog tonight.
The light in here is really poor. I
Yeah,
think
that's
I'm
the
gonna
only
be
light we have too.
able, I don't believe I'm gonna be able to.
One time this was an orange grove and some of the sprouts are still there, coming up from the original trees. Such as this one. This is the original one, see?
Mm-hmm.
Original tree.
Okay.
Tell me about the building of this house. Who built this house?
My daddy built this house. He built it, and when Tom was started when Tom was about 3 years old, and Tom is 49 now, and he did it all by himself. The native rock from around here, and Earl here.
Coral rock, is it not?
It's what they call flint rock.
Flint rock.
Flint rock, and Earl he sawed the lumber out of the trees that was grown here on this place, and that's the woodies in the house. And Mama always said that she lost all her fruit jars and with all the frame of the Model T Ford, but you keep putting in the walls.
Oh, I see.
Well, who is this lady, James?
Oh, this is my niece, Helen. But I always think of her as my sister because when Mama was ill for quite a long time, she came to live with us, and she lived with us after my mother passed away. So while I have a lot of nieces and nephews and all like that too, she's the only one that seems to be a member of the family. And as I'm a sort of an orphan now, no,
You have to have a sister.
of the 10 people, there are 10 of us, and all 9 now have passed away, and held is all I've got to represent the family.
Yeah, because I'm so near his age, and he used to almost whip me when I was a little girl.
Oh yeah, don't tell me. It's on your own. Why would I do that?
Well, just teasing.
Oh, teasing, oh, I see.
I ran over the eggs and busted all the eggs, and we didn't have any for breakfast the next morning.
Oh, I see. No, I think that's enough, don't you think?
Jim Grandpa always teases because I had to get the ice cream, you know, because if I did anything wrong, Grandpa would say, don't give her a whipping, just let her sit out on the steps and get the ice cream. I think Jim got some too.
Oh, yeah.
And there's nothing else you want to talk about?
Well, a lot of this is a big family, and I don't know how many brothers and sisters she had, but she sent them all through college and sent them to college and got them through graduate school, and there were several doctors in this family, and several doctors. And she worked. She went through high school as well, but she worked and sent everybody, all these children and grandchildren, maybe great grandchildren, for all I know, through college. And you know what? She learned more than they did.
I learned a lot.
Amazing. And what do you do now with your time?
I do crafts. I make pillows and quilts and give anybody I see a little baby that needs a good blanket, I give him one. If they think they can pay for it, I sell them one.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, we enjoy it.
Now, would you like to photograph some of the art, some things she does?
Yeah.
Well,
That's quite a nice thing.
you hold that one up,
Yeah, this.
and I'll get this one.
All right, that's a baby blanket.
Yeah, this is a baby blanket.
Oh, yeah.
A blue, it must be for a boy.
It could
Boy.
be a boy or a girl.
I
It's got
thought
different
pink-
colors.
I thought pink's a girl.
Well, it's got yellow in it.
Then here's something.
Yeah, there's one there.
That's another one.
Okay, let me show you this one over here. This is a bouquet of flowers that you don't have to even water or
Wow.
anything. You can just
Oh, there it is.
Just put it up and look
Yeah,
at it.
that's right. They come around like this, I suppose.
and then if you like birds or ducks, whatever you have.
Yeah. There's one right here I like especially. This
Yeah,
one.
that
This
looks
one.
like a hooping
Yeah,
crane.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
And once a year, I believe in October, up in at Sharp Playgrounds, up in Alabama, the old ancestral home of the Sharps up there, they have a great big fair.
This year it'll be the 8th and 9th of October. I think it's on 8th and 9th of October, and it lasts 2 days. And they generally have around 150 to 200 booths.
Wow.
And it's even advertised in Southern Living.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. And I go there and show my wares. And have a family reunion all at the same time.
That's great.
That's where we used to have our family,
Yeah.
which stopped when my sister passed on.
Yeah.
And we haven't been together since then. It's none to come together more of the Eric Steele family. Except
Well,
me.
They up there once we still keep that is because we have my father had 9 brothers, and it goes into the hundreds of people. It's sons and daughters-in-law, and grandsons, and there's just a lot of people left.
So you do come together still,
They're
once
still,
a year.
Yeah, once a year. At that, when they have the fair.
You used to have a barbecue there, didn't you?
Yeah, sometimes, once in a while in July we do that. I understand that part of the shops are going to have a family reunion in Canada this year, up in Alberta. But that was part of the shops that moved north, and the others stay south.
The Steeles have, now every year they have now, the Steele family. I read all this people who go to each other's life.
I got a letter from a girl.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my friend Francis Grover, and we worked together, talked together in Hyman Settlement School for many years. And a father, a great debt. He is the man who introduced me to the editors at the Viking Press. Yes, and that was the sort of the beginning of my publishing career. Francis, tell me about something about your father. Before he came to Rollins College, what were his positions?
He worked in publishing for 30 years before he ever left that.
I understand Ginn and Company was one.
Yes, Ginn and Company he started with.
Yeah, started with that, yes.
And represented people from Minnesota to Louisiana down that middle channel.
Yeah, I see. And then he came as professor of books, I understand,
yes.
to Rollins College.
From there.
And he had, at one time, he had the Blowing Rock School of English at Blowing Rock, and that
yes.
went on for several years, did it? I
yes,
don't remember.
4 years in all.
For 4 years.
He had it 3 years, and then another man took over
I
for
see.
4.
Yes. Now, I remember that you were your aunt who wrote the text for the Overall Boys and the Sunbonny Babies. And you were the original Sunbonny Baby. That isn't generally known. And that was along in the, I suppose, in the year, the teens, 1910 and so on, when it was published. Do you recall?
1902.
1902.
The year before I was born.
This was about the first children's book I ever saw. And I have copies of it, and of both of them. And I remember distinctly, I think this was the very first children's book I ever saw, I ever owned, was Overall Boys. And my father, there were 4 of us boys, and my father used to call us the Overall Boys. And of course, I never thought I'd meet you. Now, we worked together at Hammond Settlement. What years were you there?
1935 to 1948.
1935. See,
There were 2 years I was away.
Yes, you were here in 1938, and you were a principal at high school for during the war
years,
sometime.
For 2 years.
Sometime or other.
42 to 44.
That's right. And you came...
I've been awfully glad I had that experience.
Well, yeah, well, haven't we all? And I talked to Miss Watts the other day, and we talked about the school, and we found it also. Well, you've been here how long?
I've been in Good Samaritan retirement home for 17 and a half years.
Think of that.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, I'll try to believe that.
That's the longest I've ever stayed in one place.
Right. And I've been to see you several times. I don't know how many times. But I think you, it was a fortunate place to come, I think. And most of the people we knew, our peers, have passed away. And what was the Hammond Settlement School that day, of course, it's changed to something else, as it had to do, to keep alive and going, and is doing good work still in a different sort of way from our time. Times have changed there just as well as they have here. I was looking for a telephone number one night over at home several years ago, and it was an old. And here was your name, and I had never called you. You know, that we'd never talked on the telephone. It was almost rubbed out, and I wasn't sure I could make out.
You got the wrong crowd. Too early in the day. We don't sing and dance.
Well, I got me and John.
4 margaritas and after dark.
Me and John got kind of cranked up this morning.
Yeah, that Calypso album up there.
Yeah.
You listen to any of that, Mr. Phil?
I hope not. I didn't hear it. I thought somebody called me. I thought it was Sam, and I answered. Then I began to prepare to get up. Took about 30 minutes.
that's a carpenter ant. We got ants that got hair on them.
Have you got fire ants here?
Yes. We got ants that are about that long, and they're hairy. They call them cow killers.
Oh, really?
Well, they say they get between their hooves there and the quick of the hoof there, sting them. I doubt it'd kill them, but it's probably dry them bananas. Profile of a beer drinker.
It'll be noted that I am not drinking.
Be it noted.
Yeah, bullshit.
John, what time should we leave? Yeah, that is sharp. That's sharp. That's easy. All right. We ought to be leaving pretty soon.
Yeah, we already. I think so too.
1 o'clock.
We're driving down all the way through.
Yep. 2 hours drive.
I thought we ought to go in a little extra early because I'm not going to go in the mall and try to buy underwear and
Yep.
also
Yeah, we're going to stop. We need to stop and do something. Okay.
forget.
Toothbrush.
I think that's about it.
I need to get me one. This was one I was carrying. I'm wore out.
My dentist told me to stop recognizing art. He said, you break it down. He said, all that's necessary is you break it from. That's it. Beyond that, not doing things to start getting it. What he said.
What about floss? What about floss?
Floss also.
Yeah, floss.
Although, yeah, also, that's okay. The brush, some people have soft.
My daddy has to remember.
Don't touch, baby. Don't touch.
Me go, Mommy.
I'm filming Daddy and Sam.
And Sam? Yeah, I teased you. I teased you. What?
Now, don't be jumping, young lady.
You don't have sand spurs down here?
We haven't got any out here. Not well. There's been a few that the kids have drug home.
Time to go, Okay.
Mommy, where's Daddy going?
He's going to Mexico for a few weeks.
Daddy, why are you going in the van?
honey. We're going to get it tomorrow.
I hope you got that. Sound of one hand clapping. Upside your head, bitch. In the terms of in the words of colored boy, I knew that's the way he'd have said.
Yep.
The sound of one hand clapping.
Sarah, come away from the van, baby.
Daddy gonna drive over?
That was pretty
He
good.
might.
Yeah, you don't look for philosophy in a Rockford movie, but
It pops up all of a sudden.
I've always admired James Garner and his work, though. I think he's excellent. Hasta luego. That's close. All right. Come on, guys. Yeah, rotten pieces. Rotten pieces that he could sell.
Yeah, right.
He had to have those in Alberta.
And they made brandy out of them, and you see, they hadn't got any of it. That's the point. There are a lot of little streams, little springs there that somehow get tied up in the knot at the end.
Yeah, because I thought, that's okay. Yeah, they made brandy out of them, and they came out pretty good on that. But wait a minute. You didn't start out to go get peaches to make brandy with. You started out to make your $3 when you got done with the trip.
That's right.
If you wanted damn brandy, you'd have bought brandy or went and hoed somebody's corn and bought you some brandy.
Yeah.
Or just waited for him to get back. I don't know. I've seen a deceitfulness in what was the character's name that was going down? What was the old man?
Dial Thomas. That's the man driving the truck.
Dowell?
Dial, D-I-A-L. Dial Thomas.
Oh.
Now let me show you something about the right people. Short stories. People want to write and everything. They don't realize that things have to move. They start describing things and going. Notice my story like this one. From the first sentence that starts pumping, it never stops. It moves. It has to move either. It has to move either mentally or physically. Something has got to be going on in a short story all the time. And you have only a few thousand words to introduce characters, introduce a premise, and get somewhere with it. And you may not reach a solution, but it's got to have a resolution in it. And we know this at the beginning. that story was hard to write. It was so long. I get blocked, and I know where I'm going always. I wrote the last paragraph, and when I get blocked in there, I'd go over there and play with that last paragraph. When I couldn't do any more of that, I'd back up to the next to last. I was working both ways, just like Margaret Mitchell writing Gone with the Wind. She could write anywhere. I could write anywhere in that story. I knew what was going to happen, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. But eventually, then Esquire, I began to wonder about short stories that long. Magazines don't want them. I mean, never had no room for them. Esquire heard I don't know how they heard Esquire said, "We understand you have a story that is probably too long for the magazine. We don't care how long it is." Said saying to us. But last time I'd only sold it to Atlantic. And then they paid me, of course. Then, just before it came out, they sent a check for another $100 and said we haven't seen this story now in print, and we like it better than we did when we bought it. So they sent.
So we'll pay you a little more for it. That was run for the Alberta.
I have one story called Mrs. Razor. Did you ever read it? It's about a little girl.
Mrs. Razor, I remember the name.
It has been reprinted more than 40 times. Textbooks, textbook high school, mostly college, and all kind of sources, and then it's still coming out again pretty soon. Another book. But
what was the theme of it?
It's about a child, and it was in Best American Short Story for the year, Best 20. But I've got several more small books.
Do you remember that one, Sam?
Mrs. Razor, yeah.
I can see the name plain.
It's in two books by a psychiatrist. One is The World Within, illustrated childhood fantasy. It's a textbook, and the one that's used now in medical schools is called The World of Psychoanalysis, and it really has to do with childhood insanity, they say, and it's an example, a good example that they give. It's used in medical school for students psychoanalysis. Now, it never occurred to me this child was insane. To me, I don't think she was. She was only 6 years old. She imagined she was married and had a family.
She had a complete imaginary world.
Yes, Mrs. Razor. That was the little girl with the doll.
Yeah.
And
that's all. Yeah. Right.
Another crazy guy like me. See that?
yes. I can see how they picked up on it. I just read it with a simple curiosity of a child, what her approach was. And,
I would never thought about that in my life, except that when I went to live there on the creek there, I began to have my evening meal out with the family around the mountain there. And they had a little daughter who was 5 or 6, and she had no playmates. And so she had all this imagination. She had children, and she was talking about them, and so on. And that's where I got the idea.
Well, that was incorporated with the Middleton family, wasn't it?
Not Mrs. Razor. It's all by itself. It's in a book called, collection of stories called Pattern of a Man. Did you read Pattern of a Man?
Yes, sir,
I did. Running for jailer. About 2 years ago, we was having an election, and the local newspaper man said to me, he said, I would like to run that election, just written about elections here, and I'd like to run my newspaper. So I gave permission. All right, it was printed, and I met somebody, one fellow that was downtown, and he said, I read your story. I said, now, of course, you realize that was 20 years ago. He said it hadn't changed a damn bit. Said it's just exactly like that today.
Jerry.
It's hot, good. Right?
Two warm beef by itself.
This is your typical Mexican breakfast. Your Italian breakfast. What's it called?
Molinas.
Molinas.
I hope to eat a lot of fish while I'm here.
There was a lot more of it available because I think with that apartment over there, we ought to, like you said, go find the docks and buy some more fish. Having some good baked fish, fried fish.
Where you going?
Before I come to the room. Do you have a key?
Yeah.
I gotta go see the man. The man. Who?
Oh. Okay.
I left him somewhere. I think I'm jumping all these airplanes and things.
Yeah, but they're used to it.
Para 15,000. 16,000.
Oh, good.
You see, no problem.
15,000.
But I think this is not the quality you want because this is very commercial quality.
Yeah, that's too bad.
But maybe you want one good one, have a good one. How much?
I was just looking. Last year it seems like they were more like,
Yo say like 12.50 for each camera. Really, you know, only because you told me you have how much last year, then they don't have to do how much.
or $7, I bet that. That's what I wanted to do.
I think for only 110, how much? I know you're a
That's
good
what I
guy.
paid last year, but I paid it in pesos last year.
Didn't give me a little more. Give me a little more.
Well, we all want a little more out of life.
Yes. Yeah.
The hotel, American. And here's your local turista. That's here. There and back. Going to Cuba?
He's got the bloat.
Oh, look, we got a TV.
Oh, it's on the toilet. We got a toilet.
Yeah, we got a stinky toilet right now. Got it. Phew!
Has it been flushed?
Enter at your own risk. Halo! And then we have our shower stall. Look at this marble. Marble walls, marble floors.
He has a right to confront the idea of death in peace. He has no need of other men. He knows them and knows enough about them. What he needs is peace. It isn't good to visit this man or to talk to him and make him suffer banalities. One must give a wide berth to the door of his house as if no one lived there.
That's correct.
But anyway, I think it's a statement that does need to be carried out in practice, but
he brought walking down the street, down in the beach, heading to the post office. Here we are, just walking down the street, singing wee wee. Good sound effects on this. Look at James, no wonder it gets wore out. Takes off like a...
we ought to stop that stupid thing and get that.
Yeah.
He's up here.
Yeah, up here on the corner.
It's only to know.
Well, it's getting hot.
faint. It was a faint. Part of us was, you see, they sent them different ways to Europe. I mean, we sent them different ways. Some went to England, some went to so they wouldn't know they were going to be landing and all that. We went to Brazil, they went way down in Antarctica, I think something, and then came on in. Right, we did. Oh.
I have a cup of coffee and then I want to buy a newspaper.
Okay, let's go have a mineral.
The antenna.
Oh, all that green is off that wall.
What's that?
The green is off the wall.
Oh, yeah. Film there. This is the bar.
Let's say breakfast.
There's a Find My investment around the corner for real. What Sam and I was talking about was perhaps getting up early to go get our car before that traffic goes crazy in Maryland. We have a car in. Yeah, we're back to the airport.
In Maryland?
Yeah.
How are you going to get there?
You can pay a taxi. $3. I hear about $3 to take it back. No good deal.
That's right.
Is this a miserable place or what? This is lovely, isn't it?
You know, I told you
See what I told you about? You're going to wash clothes and dry them? About 3 days you can get a pair of blue jeans dry.
Yeah.
You have to hang your laundry out there in the road.
Got the sun.
There's a clothesline on the roof.
there's just so much water there.
If you visit,
Yeah.
this is 95%.
Coming right off the ocean.
Just find the rain that there's a deal.
I told you we'd not get come down here because something happened.
Yeah, I think Progresso, me and Sam really,
I don't.
So where are we going to eat?
Oh, no.
What do we have?
El Capitano?
Going next door.
Yeah, or the guy claims well on the...
I only got 1,000 left. But what do you think of?
What James can afford it?
Did I pay 10,000 on the stamp?
No. See, I gave 10,000.
I must have. I only had 1,000. Took that hole off of there. I put 10,000 over there.
I put 10,000 on.
Well, I wrote. I've got.
The local 9 teenagers. give its opinion.
Southern Building Code with
What?
well, they're built in America. Studies are done of the hurricanes and the storms, and we attempt to build to meet a class whatever storm, a class 5.
That's the way.
Which is
Or California builds to be the class earthquake.
Right. We build to meet 150-mile-an-hour wind. That's our minimum standards, is to meet 150 miles. Withstand. Withstand 150-mile-an-hour wind. And it can happen to you. What was supper last night?
That's a good music station there, folks. Americano song, but
Are they in Spanish?
no. I mean, the station speaks Spanish, but not the song. This is the port of Progreso. In Cuba, or Cuba, in that direction. We're headed that way, March the 8th.
Dropped a big 60 buckaroonies on it. And that's been for years.
I just wanted to kind of get it.
Oh, it's filming?
Yeah.
I'll rattle about. Things far removed from what we're at. It'll go well.
Yeah, it will. Thing's making a weird noise. Yeah, we will.
I hate to see an AMC go under the way they did. Through low, rising down. I always felt like they put out a fairly decent product. Yeah. It's the best in the world, but... Red and white. What it is? What's that? What? Barrel, concrete barrel on the roof. Probably a shower. Water tap. Oh, that's the a lot of times I say words like that. Nothing I'd ever want my mother to hear, but yeah. It's an interesting looking cart. Seems to be a working machine. You know, that's one of the things about this, so that's not having number, but you know, it's going to be different. Have you viewed any of it? No. Sound like that? No, I haven't. It's the first time, but I haven't. I didn't even think we're playing around with town. It's going to be yeah. Yeah, it is. Opinion that it's hot. Well, that's nice over there. Let's see, we walked past the bank just right here. Is this the city hall, John? Yeah, I believe it was. And this is the Zocalo, or the town square of Progresso. This is what's happening at night. They'll be dancing in the streets. John. John. Well, that's why we decided this year, really traveling taxi is as far as going. Oh, there's the richest around. Oh, I would say the taxi drivers are rich people in all communities.
I mean, I went down the road here, to Charleston from between 2,000 pesos from 2 to 8, depending on who's driving.
I know it. Let's make a deal. You ever been to Jamaica?
No.
Makes this place look calm.
Comercializadores jueces, participan señores paraderos y reporteros. Esto consiste debe ser exclusivo de barritas y grasas de la prestigiosa marca Caballero. Es de comercial de mejor calidad. Comercializadores jueces, calle 1429, por 13.
We got threw out that time. Before we got threw out that time, we're lured over. Yeah. You know, when we went in, we didn't feel. Oh, definitely. Got the band until that airport.